Thank you for downloading this week's episode of DiabeticRadio.com. This is episode 10. And in this episode, I thought it would be a good idea to talk a little bit more about my cataract experience after the surgery. I've done some Googling, and it seems that the only information that's out there are for people that need to have the surgery done and what the procedure looks like. And by the way, I don't recommend that anyone look for cataracts on YouTube. It's quite disgusting how it's done. From what I've read and what my doctors has told me, there's nothing that you can do to remove cataracts other than surgery. There's no vitamin, there's no herb, there's nothing that you can take that can reverse cataracts. There are herbs that you can use to stop the progression, but usually later on you still wind up having the surgery anyway. So cataracts are in essence the clouding of your natural eye lens that you've been born with, and it's usually due to the progression of old age. Most elderly develop cataracts later in their life, or diabetic complications when your sugars are extremely high. Now, having said that, I really recommend that if you know that you have a family history of diabetes, do yourself a favor and make your doctor test you for diabetes. Okay, because diabetes is a silent killer, and it's one of those things where complications, they're like a sleeping lion, until they wake up. You feel fine for many years, and then when the complications come, they usually come out of nowhere. They come out strong, and they're usually devastating. So I really recommend, please check yourself for diabetes so that you can start the early process of taking care of yourself. So it is the clouding of the eyes. You don't always see the cloudiness. I've noticed that the cloudiness usually you would see it in older people, but in younger people you don't see it. But from the inside, your vision, at least for me, there's various stages of cataracts. So mine's unfortunately got really bad, and a lot of that had to do with just the games that the insurance in the hospital was playing, with who's going to pay for what and all of that stuff. And unfortunately, that was caused precious time to tick away as the cataract got worse. So what happens is, I might have to make this a part 2. I'm really not sure, but let's see. My vision was just, it was gradual. I'd say that I had to live with this cataracts for almost a year while I was fighting with the insurance companies. The best way that I can explain cataracts is picture, like, go to the supermarket and buy a box of Reynolds wrap. Not Reynolds wrap, excuse me. Yeah, I think it's one of those saran wraps. That's what it is. Saran wraps, okay? You take out a saran wrap and you hold it up and you try to look through it. Put it down. You put another layer over it, another layer of a saran wrap, and you look at it. And as each time you put that saran wrap, you'll notice that when you try to look through it, it starts getting more cloudy, more gray. It's probably a poor explanation, but it's the only thing that I can think of to kind of get you an idea of what my vision was like. It got so bad to the point that everything was pretty much a blotch of color. It's almost like someone just took a pen ink and splashed it on the wall. So if I were to look at you, I couldn't see a person. It was just a blotch of color. I know somebody was there. I knew a face was there, but I didn't. I couldn't see to know what you look like. That's the best way that I'd explain it. I had no depth perception. When I tried to walk down the stairs, I always felt like I was going to fall because the stairs looked flat. So I always, when I walk down the stairs, I always have to walk on with two hands because there's no way that I can tell the condition of those stairs, whether they're broken, whether there's a banana or whatever on the stairs. And I knew that that could be a very dangerous thing for me. I had no peripheral vision. It was very dangerous for me to walk this across the street because I couldn't see the cars until they were practically on top of me. At night, it was a real dangerous thing for me because people couldn't understand what I was going through, and a lot of people used to think that I was harassing them and looking at them, and the reality was that I couldn't see because of the cataracts, and I couldn't let people know that I couldn't see because that could have put me in a new dangerous position to where people could take advantage of me and mug me, which has already happened before, unfortunately. And I couldn't see the perpetrator. I walked away after it happened. I didn't know whether they were next to me, behind me, and I just kept walking and hoping and praying that they wasn't still behind me or they didn't notice that I couldn't see. And I found, because I knew where I was at, the general area, so I looked for certain colors and I found the next train station and I found my way home. So guys, cataracts is serious business, and unfortunately I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't know what cataracts were supposed to look like. I didn't know what they were, what to expect, and it was a very lonely place for me. And it was very humbling too because I'm someone that likes to do things on my own, and I realized it was the first time in my life to where I had to surrender total trust to strangers. I had to actually ask strangers to read my own handwriting because when I needed to go places, I couldn't see my own handwriting to know where to go. I couldn't see street signs. At night, when I used to work at night, before I used to go to work at night, I stopped by the hospital and I used to get these special drops. I used to dilate my eyes, and it was the only way that I had some kind of sight, because the dilation would open the eyelids, so the pupil, so that the light can go inside my eye so that I can have some kind of vision, because the cataracts were so thick, so huge that the eye doctor could not see behind my eyes. Let's see, do I have any more time left? Okay. I think I'm going to create a part 2, so stay tuned. Alright? Bye. Look for episode 11. Bye.